Well, Comedy Corner is coming up, but first, a positive comment. We're glad you're watching Newsmax TV.
And we also appreciate the fact that you can check out Newsmax.com, our parent website. And as it turns out, you have some famous company.
The tip of the day. Last night we had a segment on how nasty the upcoming presidential campaign is likely to be because of the defamatory websites. Well, there are some exceptions to the sewer. Check out Newsmax.com. Has some very interesting political analysis. Chris Ruddy and the guys actually try to gather facts, which is refreshing. Fact or tip of the day.
And our thanks to Bill O'Reilly for making Newsmax his tip of the day a couple of nights ago.
Now for this morning's Comedy Corner.
Of course, the big story out of Washington is Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's speech to Congress, where he was very critical of President Obama. And I saw Republicans actually gave Netanyahu a standing ovation. Crazy. Normally, the only time Republican congressmen clap that hard is when they're trying to turn off their lights. Like, clap on, clap off, clap on, clap off.
As many of you know, this is a very historic time. Relations between Cuba and the United States are finally starting to thaw. I thought this was an amazing opportunity for me to come to Cuba, talk to the people, get to know them. We have an incredible show for you. Isn't that right, Cuban Andy?
Si.
Can I call you Cuban Andy?
Yeah, why not?
You know what? You're more agreeable than the real Andy.
During an interview this week, President Obama said that he wants the United States to establish an embassy in Cuba by April. Yeah? When asked if Cuba would establish an embassy here, he said, we already got one. It's called Miami. And then he goes, oh, I didn't know I forgot one.
These are everywhere. This is a Cuban payphone. As you can tell, it's pretty distinctive. It enables you to make a call and get your hair permed at the same time. The only problem is it will only call that one. So I'm talking to that guy right now. Hola, ¿cómo está?
I saw that Joe Biden will speak to the nation's largest gay rights group during a human rights convention on Friday. And then on Saturday, he is scheduled to speak to them again to apologize for whatever he said in Friday's speech. So looking forward to that this weekend.
Why is this coming out now? Wasn't it clear to anybody who emailed Secretary Clinton during that time that her email address was her personal email?
When somebody in the White House, in the West Wing, had an email to send to the Secretary of State, did they just use her, her private email? How did they get in contact with her? Did that never raise a flag inside the West Wing?
And did it not also raise a red flag in the West Wing that her personal email was, don't tell anyone about this account at /shh. Definitely not gov. But if that's, how everybody feels, why not just say that Secretary Clinton did turn over all her emails?
She provided a huge, a large amount, those 55,000.
Just say it's everything if you...
Well, how can I mean, Brad, I'm not in her email.
If you were in her email, you'd be starring in the most boring Tron sequel of all time. Tron 2, The Inbox. Oh no, there's spam.
The White House announced yesterday that Michelle Obama is going to Japan and Cambodia this month to encourage education for girls, as opposed to the program we have here in America that encourages girls to get an education, The Bachelor.
A little bit of Comedy Corner. You know what got me? Watching Conan in Cuba. And I didn't think about...
Because he's so tall and he had to crouch down?
No,
or?
Because he's a redhead. I wonder how much sunscreen the TNT people had to have, and, they find a shady spot to shoot some of that thing. Didn't look like it in the bits we saw, except maybe for that prehistoric phone booth.
Definitely 50 plus for him.
Yeah, well, interesting to see opening doors via comedy to a communist nation. And Comedy Corner with some good stuff there. And we thank you for spending some time with us.
It was fun.
Yes, I did.
Good.
And coming up, more quality programming here on Newsmax TV. At high noon, it'll be Midpoint, followed at 3 o'clock Eastern by the Steve Malzberg Show. We'll see you here tomorrow, 9 in the East, 6 in the West. Stay brave, stay free, stay tuned.